This is what's behind the mask. I feel so deeply exposed right now. You're really going to have to make a choice, Brown Ambition. You're going to have to make a choice, BA fam. Is this the host you want to support, or is it too much? I don't know. Um, but I said I was taking off the mask, so be it. Before we get into this episode, I want to give y'all a trigger warning. This is a very heavy mental health episode, and I'm going to be talking about depression and anxiety a lot. If you are suffering from depression, you've got thoughts of harming yourself, and you need help, you can call or text 988. That's the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. And with that being said, let's get into today's episode. Hey BA fam, it's your girl Mandi, aka Mandi Money. This episode has been on my mind for a while. I can't stop thinking about it. I've been running through my mind what I wanted to say, how I want to say it, why I want to say it. But it's just become abundantly clear to me that the best thing I can do for myself in this season is to be brutally honest with the people I care about the most. And it's about damn time that I take off the mask and get a little bit vulnerable. It's already starting. I think the scariest thing about opening up to you all is that I don't necessarily at all have an ending to the story to make you feel better about it, to make myself feel better about it. There's no, and then I did this, and I'm going to tell you how. I've been waiting for that, if I'm honest. I've been waiting for myself to get right so that I can come to y'all and tell you what's been going on after I figured it out and after I, fixed it. I can't fix it. I can't fix it. I'm not fixed. I'm not healed. I'm not okay. I don't know if I'll be okay anytime soon. And I've been so hungry and looking for other people, who show up in the way that I have to for work, who are dealing with some similar challenges, and I'm looking for it. I'm not finding it. And it feels really lonely. Honestly, I don't know if it's bravery so much that's driving me in this moment, other than just sheer exhaustion of pretending otherwise. I'm so tired of showing up to this microphone and putting on the mask. I'm deeply depressed. I've been deeply depressed most of my life. I suffer from depression. There's been many periods of my life when I've been very high functioning. Thank you, Dr. Judith Joseph, for giving us that terminology. Very high functioning. Depression was just another obstacle that I had to overcome on my path to, creating the life that I've always dreamed for myself. And I wasn't going to let it get me down. And I wasn't going to let the negativity, I would say, or my lack of energy and my sadness, I wasn't going to let it get in my way. It was almost, I was fighting it, battling it, trying to be stronger than it. And I succeeded. I was doing great. In a lot of ways, I've been doing great. And I succeeded my way out of that pain and that challenge, that struggle for a long, long time. And what's different? What's different now, Mandi? Why am I not able to just push through it and ride the waves? A lot of things have happened. I'm older now. I'm 38 years old. I have a much more demanding life now than I've ever had before. I'm a mom. I have 2 children. I'm a wife. I'm still a daughter and a sister. I am a citizen. I try to be a good neighbor. I'm the host of Brown Ambition podcast. I've been running a career coaching business for 3-4 years now. There's a lot on that list to be grateful for. So why am I struggling? Why am I not able to do it? I know all the things. I know how to do self-care. I know how to meditate. I've done all the therapy. I've read the books. So what the hell? Why am I still not getting any better? And in fact, getting worse. Another big shift happened this year. Y'all know Tiffany left the show. My beloved. And I was so excited for the new chapter of Brown Ambition and continue to be. But showing up to the microphone by myself for the past 10 months has been so challenging. I miss Tiffany. Even if I was showing up feeling like even how I'm feeling right now, I could always rely on our dynamic, our chemistry, our friendship to make things feel lighter for that hour and a half that we were recording. You know, I've had some incredible Brown Table co-hosts, of course, Chris and Yanelli. I haven't told anybody. I haven't told, anyone who's co-hosted the show with me what I'm going through. And what that means is that I'm putting on a mask for them. And I had a level of trust with Tiffany where I could be completely honest with how I was feeling and how I was showing up. And at least I could get that off my chest before we hit record. And, we would do our thing, but I'd always know that she knew what was really going on. And it's been really lonely, I think, recording the show and having people on the other side of the screen who don't really know me or what's happening with me. Not everybody needs to know my business. At the end of the day, I have a job to do. I'm here to give them a platform, share my platform with them, and help them amplify whatever it is that they're working on. And then, of course, do a good show for y'all. But it can get really exhausting to put on the mask and show up as frequently as I have been. I've still been doing 2 to 3 episodes per week without fail. I should have started off by saying this. This is not me leaving Brown Ambition. We built this brick by brick. I'm not walking away from it. But I do want to stop showing up with a mask on. And I hope that that's good enough. I hope that everything that we say is true, that we can hold space for people who are going through depression and a really tough time, and that we can be loving toward them and not think less of them. I hope that that's true. I don't know why, but I've been afraid that if I showed up like this, that it would be rejected, especially at a time when there's so much. We're just all inundated with things to be sad about and to be afraid of, and there's fear. And is this really what we need right now? Is Mandi Woodruff boo-hooing on a podcast? I think depression's a liar. I know depression's a liar. I know so many of the things that I think and feel don't actually have any basis in fact or reality, but the feelings feel so real. If you've ever felt withdrawn and you want to withdraw from everyone that you love and hold dear because you feel toxic and you want to protect them from yourself, from that negativity. You want to dig a moat around yourself. It's really about protecting the ones you love from having to see you like that and to cause them any pain. You're already in so much pain. The last thing you want to do is to cause the people you love pain. And so you withdraw. And I have been doing that. I've been withdrawing from most people that I can. Anyone that I really can. Anyone I can get away with it. I have been tapping out. I have been Homer Simpson disappearing into the hedge. I've been saying no. I've been buying tickets to events and not going. I have been RSVPing yes and then withdrawing at the last minute. It's I don't want to show up anywhere where I have to put on a mask. It's just too exhausting. It truly is. And the only space where I have felt like I can really be who I am is in these four walls of my home. And I haven't really figured out how to be in the world depressed without the mask quite yet. I think I'm so used to putting on that show and sparkling and tap dancing and making everybody feel good to be in my presence and cracking the jokes and all that, that I feel so vulnerable and self-conscious not being that version of myself. What does it mean to be the host of Brown Ambition and to be deeply depressed? What does it mean to be the host of Brown Ambition and a coach to women who are striving and working and deserve more in their careers if I'm also plagued by anxiety and doubts and am fighting this dragon every day? Am I allowed to do those things? Am I still allowed? Am I still welcome in the spaces where I have shown up as my full self? Will anyone want to work with me when they see this? If they see it? Will anyone trust me if they know the truth that I'm not okay all the time? I don't know, but what I do know is I'm so goddamn tired of the mask. I don't want it anymore. You can have it back. You can have it back. Taking it off. No, I'm not giving it to anybody else. We're just going to burn the mask. Let's just burn it together. I mentioned that I've been depressed for most of my life, and it's a really hard truth to hold, especially as a mom. I worry because I know at such a young age I was depressed. By the age of like 7 or 8 are my first memories of being depressed. That's only a few years older than my oldest son. I was just a case where, in a really volatile home, the one who is quiet seems to be doing well and needs to be quiet and needs to be okay because so much else is not okay. And so from a very young age, I learned how to put on that mask. I was okay. I did really well in school. Grades were popping, GPA on point, but I wasn't able to make friends and maintain relationships. And I was very isolated and withdrawn into myself as a child. Why am I sharing this? I just wish that someone had seen me and uh, helped me at a much younger age. And I just want to acknowledge that so many kids who are doing well, they're playing sports. Okay, I didn't play any sports. I was in the marching band. But maybe they're doing activities and they're doing well in school, and like there are signs that it's a mask. And for me, that was extreme irritability and um, just a horrible attitude once I got home and could take the mask off. I didn't realize it then, but I realize it now that I was just as exhausted keeping the mask on at school and in my activities. And when I came home, it felt like I could finally take it off. But then it wasn't okay to do that either at home because you're so frustrated and you have so much pent up emotion that it manifests as anger and bitterness. And I wasn't a delightful person to live with in my teenage years at all. Um, and I carried the same coping mechanisms into college. And I remember um, it was maybe my senior year of college. I was so high functioning and I was doing all the things. I was an editor at the newspaper. I had an internship. I was driving back and forth to Atlanta to cover politics and as a journalist. And I took a full course load. I was determined to graduate, on the nose at 4 years. And I just found myself trapped in my car on my way to a career fair that I was late for. And I was trying to tick off all the things on my to do list. And I was running late. And I just kind of collapsed in the car and cried. And then I took myself to therapy that next week. And I remember the therapist, I forget her name, I think it was Maria, all these years later, and just explaining to her that I was doing all these things, but I wasn't feeling anything. I didn't feel like successful. I didn't feel proud. I didn't feel anything. I felt nothing. And I finally have a word for it. Thanks again to Dr. Judith Joseph. In her book, High Functioning, she writes about a condition called anhedonia. Anhedonia, I don't want to butcher that. And it's essentially why when we're depressed, we lack joy and feeling emotions about things that one would think would bring us joy. And I really suffered from that as a college student, and I overcame it at the time, honestly. Um, I stopped living based on what I thought I was supposed to do, and I started to pursue my own passions and dreams. And I turned down my first job offer after college, and I traveled to South America, and I did whatever the hell I wanted to do, and I fell in love, and I played, and I went out, and I partied, and I traveled, and I had all these adventures, and it was so liberating. And I came back from that experience just a changed woman, truly. And even as I embarked on my career in New York City as a journalist, I still carried that experience with me, that freedom, that I built so much self-love for myself and really started to love myself during those travels. And that became this like glowing golden ember inside of me that I had been missing for so long. And all of a sudden, I really could feel joy. I had this positivity, this light inside of me that knew that I could overcome any kind of challenge that came my way. And that continued really all the way through my 20s and even my early 30s. And what shifted? What shifted? What shifted were I hit some bumps in the road. Um, the pandemic was a huge one. Becoming a mother during the pandemic was traumatic. And I think I know now I'm still recovering from that trauma of being alone and being a new mom in that cold winter of 2020. And I haven't fully healed from that. I also had a huge career upset. I'm not quite ready to talk about that publicly. I had a big career upset that left me feeling very rejected and cast out. And I haven't healed from that fully. And I had, and if you've listened to the show, you might know this. And part of me is like, oh, am I still talking about this? But I had a heartbreaking, painful breakup with a best friend. And that was, I think, the third blow in the span of a few years. Pandemic, big career upset, big friendship breakup. And then the hits kind of kept coming. The hits that come with life. You have aging parents, you have unresolved family shit, and you throw a couple kids in the mix, and you're throwing in a marriage, and you're hitting these challenges, and you're not sure how to even do marriage during times like that. And it just becomes a clusterfuck of challenges, and it's been a lot. It still is a lot. And I am reckoning with the reality that I really can't succeed my way out of this depression this time. I have tipped over, unfortunately, from high functioning depression into the land of low functioning depression, where it is much, much, much more challenging for me to push through and to accomplish and to achieve the way that I could and have always achieved my way out of challenging situations. That has been a extremely painful realization and scary. Very scary when you have a family relying on you financially to all of a sudden not be able to, or find it much more difficult to show up and earn and deliver the way that you have been for years. And just add that up to the other, to the piling up list of challenges. Financial insecurity is one of them. And there's a lot of shame around that for me too, because I'm not supposed to be dealing with that. I'm Mandi Money. Hello. Um, but I wouldn't be, if I'm going to take off the mask, I'm taking off the mask. If I'm going to sit here and tell y'all what's been going on, I'm not going to leave anything out. And that's true. It's true. Finances are not great. And part of the reason why they haven't been great is because I've been patching my lack of productivity with savings, with dipping into investments, with, yeah, tapping that nest egg. I did it. Ooh, she did it. What's going to happen? Oh no, the police are coming for me. It sucks to say all this out loud. I mean, it sucks, but it's this is what's behind the mask. I feel so I don't think you guys know. I feel so deeply exposed right now. Um you're really going to have to make a choice, Brown Ambition. You're going to have to make a choice, BA fam. Is this the host you want to support, or is it too much? I don't know. Um but I said I was taking off the mask, so be it. Now with emotional depression, I don't know why I said that. That's not a clinical term, I don't think. Obviously, I'm not a therapist or a psychiatrist, so I don't know. But what I mean that is with the feelings of depression and my moods and the way that my brain has been depressed lately, not lately, but the past 5 years, that depression has become physical. It's become in my body. It's manifested in rapid weight gain, and as a result of weight gain, sleep apnea. And I've been diagnosed with severe sleep apnea, and I haven't been sleeping. Who God knows how long I haven't been sleeping. And once I had a diagnosis of sleep apnea, on the one hand, it was relief because at least there's a solution. I'm going to get one of those giant masks and I'm going to get oxygen. It's going to go to my brain and I'm going to be able to sleep at night. Um, and I realize now why it feels like I have a newborn. Like I have been feeling as depressed as I was in the newborn phase with my first son during the pandemic. And I've been wondering, like, but I don't have a newborn. They're both sleeping through the night. This is great. But I'm not sleeping through the night. And without sleep, there is no path to healing. I know that now, and I know it in my bones. It's so deeply frustrating that my depression and the weight gain have led me to a place that's made things so much worse by robbing me of my ability to sleep well. But as my husband was telling me last night, it doesn't help to beat yourself up for, arriving where you've arrived. It's just like, let's focus on the solution. And my path through the depression. Unfortunately, I have not found the freaking fast forward button yet. I'm still looking for it. But my way through the depression has to be through focusing on my own health first. So that's starting with me getting better sleep. And the reality is that freaking insurance companies don't make it very easy to get the help you need when it comes to sleep apnea. And I've had some challenges just getting the CPAP, just getting the approvals and finding a service that took my insurance. And even then, like getting mailed the wrong equipment, that was a big blow last week. I was supposed to get I got my shipment, I got my box, I'm doing the setup, even though they tell you not to and to wait for your respiratory therapist appointment. But I was like, I can't wait. I need to sleep. I'm so desperate for it. Turns out they sent my big old head a size small, y'all. Like, who, what? Yes, I did one of these virtual. It was the closest thing I could get was a virtual respiratory therapy like company or whatever. So they do a virtual scan of your head. I did it. I did the virtual scan, and somehow, with my hair out, by the way, and somehow they were like, oh, yeah, give that girl, she's a skinny girl, give her a small. I have the world's hugest head. This isn't, it was comical. So I'm now waiting for the size large head size. I might need an XL. Well, I don't know if they offer an XL. Wait for that large to arrive, and it could be another week at this point. So but there's a way, there's at least there's something, and I'm doing it. I think that and when I say something, I mean at least there's a solution, and I've taken the steps to get it for myself. And that's one of the coping, like one of those, I hate to even call it a strategy, but one of the ways that I am keeping going through all of this is trying to just give myself a pat on the back for getting up out of bed and doing something that will help me better my health. And so that can look like getting on the phone and yelling at the respiratory therapist people to send me my freaking CPAP. That could look like making an appointment with my primary care physician to get some lab work done just to make sure that I don't have any other I don't have like hormonal imbalances or issues that could be worsening my depression or, triggering it in some cases. Like I said, I've coped with depression my whole life. I've had blood work many times, but still, I just want to have a full picture of my health. And I got the pretty much the all clear from my blood work. The only level now, my cholesterol was high a couple of years ago. It's coming back down. It's in the healthy range now, thank goodness. But the red flag on my blood work is that there's a marker for inflammation, and my inflammation marker is off the charts high. Now, what's the biggest cause of inflammation? Lack of sleep. So it makes sense. It's all tracking. And high inflammation, I could get arthritis. I already have had a flare up of psoriasis, which I've dealt with my whole life too, um, which is tied to inflammation. There's all sorts of reasons why. There's a reason anti inflammatory diets are a thing. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to fix it with a diet only. I need my sleep. I need to be sleeping again. That being said, another kind of positive step I'm taking toward just taking care of myself and my health is attacking the weight from different angles. I think I've gained about 75 pounds since I had my son, and my weight has been up and down my whole life. I really suffer from the Oprah syndrome, and yeah, I've tried a couple of the GLP-1 injection drug, the Ozempic, the Zepbounds, but my insurance doesn't cover enough of it for it to be financially viable. Even with my insurance, which covers 60% of the cost, I'd still be on the hook for about between $450 to $500 a month, and I ain't got it. So I'm not doing that. But my primary care physician, who I love, referred me to an endocrinology practice as like a hormone doctor. And it's a weight loss program, medical weight loss program intervention. And for the first time, I'm like kind of seeing a team of people who are helping me. So I have the main doctor, the endocrinologist, but I also have a dietitian and then his nurse practitioner and physician's assistant. And every 4 to 6 weeks, I'm going to see one of them. I've started a couple of medications that should have the same effect in supporting weight loss that one of these GLP-1 type Ozempic type drugs, weight loss drugs has. So, I mean, I don't think y'all need to know what medications I'm taking, but if you want to know, I'm happy to say. But one of them is an antidepressant, and the other one is something that's been used to treat type 2 diabetes and can help my body process sugar, glucose, and not store it as fat. So, but with a nutritionist, she and I've downloaded a meal tracking app, and I've been paying a lot of attention to fiber and protein intake. Any fat person can tell you the best way to diet. We know everything about dieting, all the different kinds. I've tried them all, but none of them has obviously lasted very long. And I will say the restrictive dieting was always my go-to, but this feels like I'm adding things to my plate versus things that I'm taking away. And so far, so good. So I'll keep y'all posted on that. And movement has been really hard to do. There's days this weekend, this weekend was truly challenging. I just didn't want to get out of bed. Physically felt so ill and so tired, and I just had to let that deep that challenging time kind of go and pass. And finally the clouds parted a little bit today, and I woke up this morning with a bit of energy, and I did a 20-minute indoor cycle, and I did a K-pop Demon Hunters Peloton ride. Yeah, it was so good. I cried. I always cry. I always cry during the "This Is What It Sounds Like" song. And I resisted the K-pop Demon Hunter fad, but I am so indoctrinated now. I hope they never release me from the chokehold that they have on me. It's so good. And especially for the time that I'm going through right now, that movie and the messages in it are so layered and really honestly helping me. Yeah, an anime has helped me get through this time and just try to be more authentic. So I want to say, if you've been listening to this whole episode, thank you so much. But I really want to talk to anyone who's listening who any of this feels like maybe it's a little bit of what you're going through or you have gone through. And I just want to say that I see you, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm proud of me for continuing to show up and to take steps that can help us get out of the darkness. And I'm right on this journey with you, and I'm kind of sick of feeling alone, and maybe we could take our masks off together and just be authentically who we are. And at least now, when I show up to this microphone in whatever state I'm in and with whoever I'm talking to, I don't have Tiffany here who knows what's going on, but I've let y'all in. And BA fam, now you know me. Now you know a little bit of my own demon that I am battling. And I hope that you realize that I'm really trusting y'all with a big piece of me. And I know I can, but I just want you to know I don't say any of this lightly, and I only do it because you've supported me for all these years, and I just want to be real with y'all. I just want to be honest. And I'm still showing up. I'm still doing the show. I think that's the beauty of taking off the mask in this way. I can show y'all that with depression, there can still be success. There can still be productivity. There can still be work getting accomplished, but also acknowledging that that's not all there is, and that's not what's going to save us in the end. I know that just showing up and doing Brown Ambition, clawing my way through the show, getting through my coaching calls, and um, that's not going to heal me. and that the real work that I'm doing outside of this work that I love is what's going to heal me, and I'm working on it very diligently. I'm working on it from any angle, and I have been for a while. I really have been for years working on it. Therapy, group therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, Zoloft and antidepressants, even trying to explore the world of THC and what, if any, benefit I can get from that. And just, there's no stone I have left unturned on this journey. I'm working so damn hard. And if I can be a source of comfort, or at least to anyone listening who has felt alone or has felt like they're too toxic and that you're not okay as you are, in your current state, that you have to wait until you're healed before you deserve to show up spaces. I'm choosing to um, disbelieve that, and I hope that you will as well. And at least now, when I'm showing up in spaces, whether I don't know, not everyone's going to hear this episode, but at least now when I'm showing up in spaces, I can honor my truth, which is that I am suffering from depression, and healing is not a smooth path. It's not a linear path, and there's good days and bad days and good hours and bad hours, but I'm worthy of trying, and I am worthy of this healing process, and I want to heal properly this time. And just thank you for listening. I'll be sharing more. I plan to do a whole episode on being depressed as a mom of littles, and I'm really looking forward to that, because it's one of the the weirdest things about being depressed is when you're a mom, and you can't be. You can be, but it's just so, I mean, honestly, I laugh so I don't cry, but there's some really funny and joyful moments that have come out of being a depressed mom, and I just love it so much. Well, not being depressed, but I love being a mom. And I think that depression in motherhood needs to be talked about more, and much more past that, even that postpartum, first trimester kind of time, when we tend to get some attention for it, but not so much for the long haul. So you can look forward to an episode on that. And as always, I'm here for y'all, and I want to hear from y'all. So please take the time to leave a review or leave a comment. If you're watching on YouTube or you're listening on Spotify, you can comment directly on this episode. But y'all know you can also find me at Brown Ambition Podcast on Instagram, Brown Ambition Podcast at gmail.com, and my personal IG is at Mandi Money. I love you, BA fam, and I hope you know that I'm doing this show for y'all, and just thank you. Thanks for listening. Sending y'all lots of love. Bye.